chat, answering some questions. I have some regular questions that we collect all week long at Golf Cart Garage, and we go over those and we try to help people out, try to save them some money. That's what we do 2 times a week for now. I think we may be going to 1 time a week soon. I'm not sure, but I'll let everybody know if we're going to make any major changes like that. But for now, it's still exactly the same. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon Central Time. We come here and go live on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to follow us on other platforms, here's the links to the other platforms like TikTok and Instagram. You can follow us anywhere you like. If you do follow us on YouTube and Facebook, then please give us a thumbs up. Please interact in the chat. Tell me what's going on. Ask a golf cart question. Tell me about your weather. You never know what we may talk about. Rock Dog, what's up, Rock? Helpless Garage, missed you on Tuesday. Hey, y'all from Cabot, Arkansas, Helpless Garage. Just right upstate from me, just a little ways away, a couple of hours. Jeffrey, 32, Poconos, 16 degrees this morning. Dang. All right, Jeffrey gets the prize for coldest temperature so far. 58 and partly cloudy in Athens. John Shearer, good afternoon. Good afternoon, John. 70 in Spring Hill, Florida. Feels like it's going to snow. Oh, come on, Clay. 70 in Spring Hill, Florida. Feels like it's going to snow. 47 in Chicago. Randy Kobach. Hey, Randy, how's it going? I talked to you the other day, didn't I? Have they? Has anybody got back with you on the issue that we talked about? Yeah, I'll pass on that kind of temp too. All right, cool. I'm glad somebody got with you, Randy. Oh, they haven't. They haven't got with you. Okay, I'll check on it then. In fact, I'm going to write that down. Check on Randy. Kobach issue. All right. All right. Thanks for telling me, man. I've got it. I've got it written down. I'll check on it and see what the status is whenever I get off the live here. Let me check Facebook, make sure it is rolling. Jimmy Stokely from East Tennessee, sunny and 58. Thanks for showing up, Jimmy. Al from Westfield, Wisconsin, at a balmy 40 degrees. We have 4 inches of rain here. You're welcome, Randy. I will check on it. Sir Walter, 57 and sunny in North Carolina. Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Sir Walter, for coming by. Okay, well, the garage is now open, so we are going to get started with some regular questions. I'm sure we'll have some other questions show up in the chat. This one is from Ian R. I have Trojan batteries in a Yamaha golf cart. Does the watering system transfer over? Well, if the watering system just screws into your holes of your fill holes for each one of your cells, so if it fits your new batteries, or if that cap will fit in there, yeah, then the whole thing can transfer over. Now, I wish you wouldn't use that with watering systems, but that's just me. I bet you couldn't find a golf cart tech anywhere that says that he likes those watering systems. I bet you wouldn't be able to find one, because I don't like them that much. Because, well, we'll get to reasons why here in a little while. Because one of the other questions talks about gases and that batteries put off. So anyway, it has something to do with that. Accidents have happened. Keith from Palmetto, Florida, sunny and 72. Yep, it is not sunny and 72 here. Reggie Black. Hey, Tim, what's up, Reggie Black? Thank you for showing up there, Reggie. Thank you for dropping by. Number 2. This is from David. I have a 2012 E-Z-GO golf cart. It has 4 batteries now. I need to replace them and was looking to upgrade to the lithium maintenance-free batteries. How many batteries will be required? Well, depending on which lithium company that you go with, you could have, you may get just 1 lithium battery, you may get 4 lithium batteries, you may get 2 lithium batteries. It just depends on which company and what configuration that you decide on with that company to get the range that you desire. The more amp hours your battery configuration has, the further you're going to be able to drive your cart. And if you get like one single battery, a common size is 105 amp hour, something like that. Well, you can get 105 amp hours also out of a couple of lithium batteries in series, a couple of smaller lithium batteries in series, maybe 105 amp hours, something like that. So it just depends, and keep this in mind. In general, the higher the amp hour you get, the more it's going to cost you. Now that's in general. When you're talking about all the lithium companies, everybody wants to get the most amp hour they can because that's going to give their cart the most range. It's going to give their cart the most driving range. The most miles before it needs to be recharged. Everybody wants to get the highest amp hour they can for, and watch the money figures. Everybody's watching the money. So you start getting up to the high amp hour. That's where the lithium packs start getting real expensive. Hi Tim from Winnipeg. This is Raymond LeClaire from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. 24, first time commenting, but watched all your episodes. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Raymond. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate your support of the show and myself. Thank you very much. Stephen Kuhn. Nothing beats a watering can and a flashlight to maintain your lead-acid batteries. Yeah, I don't like those watering systems. Like I said, we're going to get into that here in a few minutes with one of these questions. That was number 2. Let me check over here on Facebook and see how we're doing. Daryl Kimbler. Hey, Tim. Daryl just checking in. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you guys don't have anything better to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays than to just sit around and listen to me talk. I do appreciate it, though. Where am I at here? Number 3. Hey Tim, do you know what we could do to fix our cart? It is a 2016 TXT48, and we had it in run mode while getting towed because the battery had died. We got all the batteries up to 8 volts each, but it's still not running. Thanks for the help. Well, that is not good. We have talked about that. Let me make sure I understood this right. We had it in run mode while getting towed because the battery had died. Well, see, just quickly, I have seen carts come into my shop that were towed in with the switch and run, okay? Every one of them had the motor was burned up. You remove the motor and look inside, it's black on the inside, just completely black, burned up. The controller was burned up, completely shot. And I've even had one that was so bad that it almost melted the batteries. The tops of the batteries, the plastic case for the batteries had gotten so hot that it was wavy. See, they pulled it with an automobile. They towed it with an automobile. They didn't even know that the car was struggling back there and it was trying to resist the tow because the switch was in run. Well, anyway, the ones that I've seen in my shop, you got all 3 of those things. There's a possibility. So if you saved your batteries, if you got your batteries back, then you're lucky. But I guarantee you, your motor's shot and your controller's shot, depending on how far it was towed. Always watch and talk too much. Steve. Norman Lucky. What's up, Norman Lucky? Thank you. Jeffrey, what are you talking about? That battery watering system is the worst thing you could do? I'm just checking to see if that's what you meant there. Because I've got some strong feelings about them. Yeah. Okay. Miguel Valenciano. Miguel Valenciano. How did I do, Miguel, on that last name? On a club car precedent, how do I wire a backup camera with the FNR? I know the FNR is 48 volts. Yeah, I don't know if I would do it like that, Miguel, because of that fact. Because there's no way that backup camera is going to be 48. You're going to have to, not sure how you would do that. That backup camera is probably going to be 12. It's going to be 12 volts. So you could wire it to the voltage regulator or whatever, everywhere your lights are hooked to. You might just have to run a separate switch. I don't see how you're going to do it with the forward and reverse, because there's not going to be a 12 volt out there. So you might just have to do a button next to your forward and reverse switch or something that was activated, or that you would have to press when you put it in reverse, and then you touch another button, you know, right there beside it. That would be 12 volts, and that could turn your camera on. Because I don't see how you'd be able to do it off of the FNR switch, is what I'm saying. Reggie Black, why don't AC motor carts have run tow switches? Our models don't. Well, AC is just completely different, you know, than the way that a DC cart is. I mean, that's why it takes a converter, and switching the DC pack over to AC, then you run an AC motor. It's just a whole different way of doing business. So they don't require them. Hey y'all, 54 and sunny in southwestern Indiana. Mike Irwin. Tommy Bedford. I have a new motor on my 48 volt Precedent about a month ago. Ran about 35 when I first put it on, but now I just lost down to about 25. Is this normal? I have a 48 volt lithium battery. No, that is not normal. Normally, an electric motor does not lose speed over time or at all. They tend to work the same RPMs depending on the amps that it's able to pull or the voltage coming from the battery. So if you're slowing down, something has changed, and I would bet that it's not your motor, Tommy. Kurt's talking about voltage reducer. Yeah, that would be the only way I could think of. Go off of the voltage reducer to reduce it to 12, but then you're gonna have to run a separate switch. Yeah. Phone with the customer when you started. How is your father-in-law? Oh, he's at home. Jeffrey, my father-in-law is at home. He's doing good. My wife talks to him every day, and she talked to him last night. I believe she told me that he's doing all right. He's getting around a little bit, doing better. So everything, the emergency is averted for the moment. But my father-in-law is up there. He's not a spring chicken anymore. Camera should be on 5 volts too. Okay, is it? I didn't know that, Helpless Garage. The backup cameras, they have some that run off of 5? Reggie Black says run tow switches are only for DC motors. Well, it's going to have something to do with the way the DC motors turn into the generator. You know, once the regenerative braking part is going to be completely different on the AC stuff. Oh, USB. Okay. Well, that would be a way to turn it on, and then just have a switch to your USB port. You know, a separate switch, like what I was saying. Just run a separate little small switch and put it right over there beside the forward and reverse switch, and then when you put it in reverse, you can just hit that little switch with your thumb, and that would activate that USB port. You know, something like that is what I was thinking of. Any idea of what to look for first? Well, if you were doing 35 and now you're down to 25, tell me what the status is of your battery. Is it as good as it was? Because that would be where I always go first. I get that out of the way first. Now, if yours is a lithium, and if you were going 35, I really would need a reference voltage when it was new, when you were going 35, and see what the voltage is now that you're only going 25. Rock Dog says add a 48 volt relay to the FNR. Joe says the same thing. Use a 48 volt relay using 12 volt contact hooked to the reverse switch. I put backup light and rear camera on my cart using rear buzzer source for power. Clay Mathis says, I put another converter to convert from 48 to 12. Worked well. William Rizzo, hey Tim and good people, getting ready to go play around the golf. I'm going to feature that cart you sent me, William, today. That funny cart. Was that just a random cart in a parking lot that you sent me? It's kind of neat. Are your digital numbered volt gauges able to handle 36, 48, and 72 volts? They're going to be specific, Jeffrey, as far as I know. They're going to be specific for which voltage you need. Tommy says the battery's only about 3 months old. Well, that's going to be the first place that I would start. I would want to make sure that your lithium is not dropping down too far, too low. Because there's nothing that should be degrading that quickly. The only thing that I can see that would be degrading, that's why I always like to eliminate batteries first. Helpless Garage, I have started charging my 2015 in tow because I read somewhere it is better. Was I fed a line, or is it better to charge in tow? It makes no difference. They never charge in tow at the golf course. Let me just put it that way. They don't go through that much trouble. And the car still last 5 years. The battery still lasts 5 years. So it doesn't matter. Either way is fine. The only thing about tow is if you're going to leave your car for extended periods of time without it being maintained at all, without your batteries being maintained, it might be a better idea to put it in tow because it's going to knock off that little bit of parasitic drain, on your battery pack. But it's very, very small. Forward and reverse switch that runs off my voltage reducer to run camera. Stephen, put a micro switch behind the forward and reverse switch that runs off my voltage reducer to run camera. You must have a mechanical forward and reverse switch, Stephen. That correct? In order to do that, because I was under the impression he was talking about a push button forward and reverse switch. That's why it would be difficult. Jerry Kelly, what's going on, Jerry Kelly? Backup light in the rear camera. Joe Foster says, excellent for what you did there, Clay. Bruce says, if it's lithium and it's below 30 degrees, we have noticed that speeds are not as fast as when it's warmer out. All right, there's an idea. Tommy, tell us what kind of temperatures are you running in there, and see if that could be an issue. Because we got somebody saying they've noticed that below 30 degrees that speeds are not as fast on their lithium. They're available to handle 36, 48, and 72 volts now, Jeff. Okay, I'll check into that. Stephen Coon says, 95 medalist. So that's a mechanical forward and reverse. Yeah, on a mechanical forward and reverse, definitely you could add a micro switch like what you're talking about, and that would be good. Number 4. This is from Paula. Does 6-gauge battery cable work in a Club Car Precedent 2017 with 6 8-volt batteries? That is correct, Paula. Stock golf carts come with, I'm not going to say 100% of all stock golf carts are 6-gauge cable, but the majority of the main power cables in a stock golf cart is 6-gauge cable. So yeah, 6-gauge would be fine. You would only need to go to a bigger gauge cable, actually, if one of your cables, your existing cables, is getting warm on you. It's either a bad cable or it needs to be bigger, but don't just change one. If you're going to change them all. Because you could have what's called an electrical bottleneck if you just change one to a bigger cable. That's not going to do you any good. If it does, there was something wrong with the cable to begin with. Change it with the same size cable and see if your problem with heat or whatever problem you were having goes away. 50 to 60 when I noticed the change. Well, that shouldn't be it then. You know, it shouldn't be a temperature-related issue, Tommy, if you're in the South. Jeffrey says I might have to leave early to a customer picking up an old Honda CB750 I just rebuilt. Jeffrey, those voltmeters are available through by the AM company. All right, cool. Let me see about Facebook here. Yeah, we're good over here. Yeah, we got 7 people on Facebook. All right, number 5 is where we're at on the regular questions. This is from James. Do the 8-volt Trojan TH75 golf cart batteries emit carbon monoxide when being charged? Now this is where we get into what we were talking about earlier about the water systems. The answer is no on carbon monoxide, no, but they do emit hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, and hydrogen sulfide gas. The hydrogen sulfide gas is the bad one. That one is the one that's poisonous, and it's also heavier than air. Hydrogen sulfide gas is heavier than air, so it sinks down. You know, as it comes out of the batteries, it's going to sink down. That's why it's so important to have adequate ventilation. So, and also this is a flammable concoction. It's not only is it poisonous, but it's a flammable concoction. So very important to have to have your venting correct. And what the deal is with your batteries and the watering systems, the way that makes me think, and accident, like I said, accidents have happened. You have now, when you put that watering system in place, not only are all your batteries connected in series, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, with a cable, with a copper cable, they're now, every one of your cells is connected together. Every one of your flammable concoction poisonous cells, every one of those is connected together because of your watering system. Now, if that doesn't bother you, then by all means do it and have the convenience of having the water system. But as a mechanic, that makes me think about it a little bit. You know, it makes me step back and say, wait a minute, now all of those are connected? So if one of them blows, are all of them going to blow? And that has happened. All 6 batteries have exploded before in golf carts. And a lot of times they had that watering system in place. So it's just something to think about. Just as a mechanic, it's hard for me to, I don't have one on my cart. I do them one at a time, you know, individually. I like being able to get to them quickly. And also there's a lot of moving parts in that watering system because it is just a series of floats that close and open. So the floats can get stuck. You can end up overfilling that one cell. If a float gets stuck, you can have a float that gets stuck in the other position and doesn't allow water to get into that cell. There's a number of things that can go wrong, and there's so many things that can go wrong on a golf cart to begin with that it's hard for me as a golf cart tech to want to add more to the list. You know, so it's probably fine. I'm probably making it sound worse than it actually is, but it's just hard for me to like that setup. Bruce, anything above 40, we haven't noticed a difference in speeds, and we run eco batteries. All right. Well, that shouldn't be Tommy's issue then, because he's definitely above 40 in Mississippi. Stephen Kuhn, you asked about lithium batteries and resistor cart. Ask my cousin, and he has been running that setup for a year with no issues. Yeah, I don't see a problem with it as long as you stay with the same voltage. You know, 36. The resistor cart's going to be a 36-volt car, so as long as you stay with the 36-volt lithium, I don't see a problem with that at all. Roger F says, never, never, never use a watering system. They never water all the batteries the same. You'll end up buying new batteries sooner than you think. Well, there you go. That's enough. All I said is that you probably will not find a golf cart tech that says that he likes that battery watering system. Someone that has worked on golf carts a lot, they're not going to like that battery watering system. Helpless Garage says, I think I might have to remove the watering system from my cart. Does GCG sell stock battery caps to replace the plumbed ones? Well, we're a dealer for many different brands of batteries. I don't know if we sell them directly, but I'm fairly certain that we could get you some, if we needed to. Rich Eastman says, I just got here. Could you start over? Well, I just got off of my rant about battery watering systems, Rich. So if you don't care about that, then you didn't miss anything. Let me check on Facebook. No, we're still running. Number 6 is where we're at. Jeffrey says he hates them with a passion. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is that you're not going to find anybody that's worked on golf carts a lot and that is a fan. Steven says watering systems can overfill a battery when undercharged and cause an overflow when charging. That is correct. All of those, to me, there's more negatives than positives. That's all I'm saying. And you got to understand, we sell those too. I mean, we sell those at Golf Cart Garage. I hate to not recommend a product that we sell, but there's a lot of customers that want the product. And like I said, if it doesn't bother you, the things that we've talked about here, then go ahead. Kirk says, hit save on your phone and you can rewatch later. Number 6 is from Teresa. We have a 2001 Club Car 48-volt DS. We need to replace the motor, but don't know if we have to replace the controller if we get a new motor. What are your thoughts? Thank you. The answer is no, you do not have to replace the controller if you get a new motor. Now, what my question would be, is it you're getting a replacement stock motor, or you're getting a motor that has more performance than the motor that was in there? If you're getting a performance motor, a new controller would probably be recommended. I'd like to know the specifics on the motor that you're getting. But no, you don't have to get a new controller if you replace the motor in most circumstances, but you're not going to get the full benefit. If you got a performance motor, you're not going to get the full benefit of it unless you replace it with a bigger controller also. Rock Dog, I ripped my watering system out and shortly after went lithium. And shortly after went lithium. Yeah. Yep. Stephen Kuhn, beat me with a stick before you put a watering system on either of my cars. I did start at the beginning and it ran at 1.7 times speed. I'm exhausted. Oh, you're talking about on this episode. Oh, I got you. So you've been listening to me talk fast, huh? Oh, you're back live with us now, Rich. That was number 6. Depending on which motor. Then we've got number 7 is where we're at. This is from Robin. Currently, my cart has a stock series wound DC motor with a non-electronic speed controller. What can I improve? DC controller, DC motor, DC controller and motor, AC conversion. Well, if you have a resistor cart, sounds like what you're saying. Sounds like you have you said it's a non-electronic speed controller, so it must be a resistor type speed controller. What can you do to improve? Well, the one thing you can do to improve is just yank that whole system out and change it to a solid state system. That would be the improvement, because there's not much you can do with that resistor system. As long as that's in place being used, then there's not a lot you can do. I wouldn't even recommend lifting that car and putting taller tires on it with that resistor system in place being used. That resistor system gets red hot, even with 18-inch stock tires. It still gets red hot. You put taller tires on it, it's going to put it even under more of a strain. So I wouldn't even recommend lifting that system. So the things you can do to improve would be yank the whole wiring harness out and install a whole solid state deal, and that's going to be a major project that not everybody's going to be ready for. You're going to have all kinds of hurdles you've got to figure out how to cross, during that project. Potentiometer hurdles, for one. Most likely going to have to change the potentiometer, whatever potentiometer that car has. You're going to have to figure out how to do it. If this is a club car, resistor car, then there's a pre-M-Core to M-Core conversion kit that would take care of that part. So there's lots of questions that would come up. That's why people that have resistor cars, I recommend leave them alone. Use them for what they are. Use them for work. Use them for what you got to do, with it. But if you're going to upgrade, you might ought to get another car if you're planning on upgrading. All right, beginning. Pastor Fred. Should I be watching out for something? Pastor Fred says, I have had my cart for 3 years and haven't had a problem except for having to replace tires. Should I be watching out for something? No, Pastor Fred, you just, what kind of car do you have? Because it may have some alamites or grease fittings in certain places. As far as maintenance goes, that's one of the things that you might want to look into. Make sure you know where all your alamites are. Most likely they're only going to be in the front end. You're going to have a couple of places that a grease gun would snap onto. Alamites, grease fittings, Zerk fittings, whatever you want to call it. Some of those places take a squirt of grease. Spindle areas, steering linkage, there might be a couple depending on which cart you have. That's about all you need to worry about, and your batteries. Stay on top of your batteries, and unless we're talking about a gas cart. A lot of people are under the impression that electric cars require no maintenance. Well, that is not true. There is some maintenance. The main item in an electric car that requires maintenance, if it's not lithium, is your batteries. You're going to have to stay on top of what state of charge your batteries are in, what state is your water in, your water levels, and like I said, there's a couple of Zerk fittings for some grease, and that's about it. He says it's a club car. Well, there's definitely going to be some alamites on the front end of there that might need a squirt of grease every now and then. Keep your tires up. Keep your tire pressure up. That helps an electric car. Let's see. Jeffrey says, I'll catch you next week. All right, Jeffrey. Thank you for stopping in, man. Bruce says, we reuse caps from battery cores to replace ones with autofill. There you go. That's an idea. Go to one of these places that accepts batteries, or as recycle place. You might be able to figure out a way to get some caps from a place like that. Pastor Fred, thank you for joining us, by the way. We come here twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon Central Time. Number 8. Hey Tim, can you tell me the exact steps to test a battery charger with a multimeter? It's very easy. The easiest way to test a charger, a golf cart charger, you got to understand, a golf cart charger is DC voltage activated. Okay, that means when you plug it into the AC, you got one end of the charger, you got to plug into AC. All right. Charger doesn't do anything, doesn't come on. It's the other end that has the on-off switch, or is connected to the on-off switch inside the charger. And when you plug it into your cart, it sees the voltage in your battery pack, which pops a relay inside the charger, which turns it on. So a charger is DC activated. That's what I mean by that. So don't worry about putting your voltmeter anywhere on the charger. You're going to test to see if that charger is running by putting your voltmeter on your batteries. You're going to take a voltage reading on either a single battery or your whole battery pack, and then plug your charger in and watch your voltage. And if that voltage starts to rise, then you know that the charger's coming on. Now, you want to come back later on, check it again, make sure the voltage is still rising in the batteries, and then toward the end of the charge cycle, if it's a 36 volt cart, then you could be looking at somewhere around 46 volts or somewhere 48 volts if it's a 36 volt cart. If it's a 48 volt cart, somewhere toward the end of the charge cycle, it should get up to 60 volts or even more. So if you know those things, then you know the charger is working correctly. Pretty much. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% that it's working correctly, but that's about as easy a test and as good as you can get with just a simple voltmeter. Pastor Fred says, I live in the high desert in California. Weather is freezing in the winter and 100 degrees in the summer. Well, you just need to stay on top of your batteries. If you've had it 3 years, you're doing good so far. So just be aware of your batteries and charge your cart. You don't worry about charging it too much. You can't charge it too much. Greg M. says, I missed the rant, but looks like I should get rid of the Hydrolink. Is there a preferred battery cap for Trojans? I think it's the battery caps are pretty much universal between the brands. Trojan's going to be the most popular battery, so that should be the easiest to find. So you could get some regular Trojan caps. Those would probably be showing up more than any of the other ones. Thank you for the advice. Have a blessed day. Stephen Coons says, proper battery maintenance is the life of your battery, running 6 volt, 8-year-old batteries. Just load tested last week, tested 100% good. I've seen that in my shop. I've see a discharge machine, I've talked about. Let's see, can you see it? Right there is a discharge machine. There's an E-Z-GO PowerWise, and that's a 48 volt Lester charger. But right there is a discharge machine that golf cart shops have, and they discharge a whole battery pack, at once. I've talked about this before. And depending on how many minutes that battery pack can survive the test, the load, it tells you how good your battery pack is. Well, a brand new set of Trojans, like 6 T105s, Trojan T105s. If you discharge tested a brand new set of Trojan T105s with that machine, it would last about 115 minutes. And that'd be a brand new set of batteries. And as time goes on, typically that range is going to decrease at one point, during the lifespan of those batteries. Well, anytime I would sell a set of batteries, I would make sure that the battery pack would discharge at least for 75 minutes on the machine, or I wouldn't even sell them to anybody as a used battery set. They have to go at least 75 minutes. Well, I have seen a set of Trojan T105s that was close to 8 years old that still went 100 minutes on the discharge machine. That was close to 8 years old, went 100 minutes. I took a picture of it, and posted it on a golf cart forum. I'm involved with a bunch of golf cart forums on the internet. And because I thought that was impressive. I've never seen another brand of lead acid battery do something like that at that age. So Trojans are good batteries when it comes to quality and lifespan and longevity. For lead acid, of course, you know, we're talking about lead acid. That's why they're the most expensive to me, is because they're the best. Golf Pro brand. Okay, well, that's good. If they're still testing good, I would be interested to know how many minutes they would go on an actual discharge tester. Oh, they did. They went 113. All right, cool. Well, it can happen. It can happen. I have seen it. Number 9 is where we're at on the regular questions. This is from Lewis. So I have 5 8-volt batteries and 1 6-volt batteries. Would that cause the batteries not to charge completely or cause problems during charging? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to cause problems. Where's my TV? Yep, that's going to cause problems. You're not going to charge correctly, and it is nothing's going to work right. The golf cart's not going to like it, and it's not going to charge right, and you end up ruining something. So you need to get that corrected. Number 10. Steven says, check water once a week, charge every day. Yep, that's a good plan. You'd be amazed at how many people do not do that. They do not even come close to that. That's why lithium, that's one of the reasons that lithium is such a big deal. I mean, there's many reasons that lithium is a big deal, but one of the reasons that it is a big deal is that it completely eliminates that. The checking the water just gets that off your plate. A lot of people like that, and they're willing to pay lots of money to have that convenience. No more mess on your garage floor. No more worrying about overfilling or underfilling, But you're going to pay for it. Number 10. This is the last scheduled question, and then we'll. I do have a cart from William Rizzo. Sent me a cart for Let's See, so we will be showing that here in a minute. He sent me an interesting cart. On an 83 E-Z-GO Marathon model with a Robin 2-cycle engine, where would the oil injection unit be located? Is the oil line attached to the engine or carb? The oil line is going to be attached to the carb. That's where the oil is, and then you just follow that line down to wherever the pump is. There's going to be an oil injection pump, and then coming out of the other side is going to be the line that's sucking the oil out of your oil injection tank. So you got your oil injection tank, then there's a line leaving it going to the oil injection pump, and then there's a line leaving it going to the carburetor where it injects into the carburetor and it mixes with gasoline, as the gasoline comes through. Now, at least that's the way it is on my Yamaha 2-stroke right there. That's the Yamaha 2-stroke injection, the oil injection system. So I don't have the old E-Z-GO 2-stroke to make sure it's the same way, but I don't see how it could be any different. Greg Elliott, 36 viewers and 18 likes. Hit that thumbs up, people. Thank you, Greg. Stephen Coon is going to try lithium on that airport cart. Do it. Do it. That's a heavy-duty cart. I mean, those carts are designed. I've had one in my shop before. Those carts are designed to carry lots of weight, but on flat surface alone. I mean, they're not real good once they go off-road. Not a very comfortable ride once you get in a pasture or on a dirt road or something. They're designed for that smooth concrete at airports. The title of this episode was, Do I Need to Replace Controller First? And that is just something that I always recommend because that's like the foundation to all future upgrades. So that's why I named it this, this episode that. Social media links. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, like Greg Elliott just said. And hit the like button and thumbs up. But you can also follow us on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok. There's the links for that. If you would like to see epoxy coating on your shop floor, is yours as slippery as mine when your shoes are wet? I'm not real, it's not a, oh, by the way, help us, it's not epoxy. That's not what I got. It's, can't remember what they called it. It's more of a stain. It's more of a stain, but it's not epoxy. The problem with it is that it's real pretty. It looks like the sky. You know, it looks like the sky when it's not a cloudy day, or maybe just a few little clouds in it because it's got some white in the floor. Epoxy was going to be very, very expensive. I didn't know that. I didn't know how expensive epoxy garage flooring was going to be until we did this building. So that's why we saved money and went with this setup, which was a completely different setup, more of a stain with a clear on it. But the problem with it is that it scratches kind of easily and it shows up. And that's one of the reasons why, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not a motorcycle lift right there. That motorcycle lift has steel wheels on it. You know, the wheels on it are steel. And if I roll it around, it was marking up my floor. So now you see I've got it set on, I've got it sitting on 2 dollies. I've got it sitting on 2 Harbor Freight dollies. So, and the wheels aren't steel, so I can move it around. But that's my only problem. But tires seem to be reacting with it fine. Tires seem to be doing fine. I'm not marking it up with tires. I'm not having a slippery problem because they did put something in it, some type of grit in it a little bit to make it, to help with that. But the only problem I'm having with it is that it is not as heavy duty of a coating as an epoxy. So if I had to do it again, or the next time I do it, which I'm probably sure there will be a next time, I'm sure, then I'm probably going to go ahead and check into some of the epoxy stuff and not really worry about the cost because it may be worth it. I just don't like the scratching, too easy to scratch. I almost wish I would have not done anything to it at all if it's going to scratch like that. If I either want it to be nice or I want it to be bare concrete. And we went for nice, and I'm scratching it up with just rolling wheels around on it. Hard wheels, steel wheels. I'm not having a problem with anything else. Joe Foster, Tim, I have a 36 volt TXT. Can I add an extra 6 volt battery or 2 for extra distance and amp hours? Nope. Nope. All right, here's the deal, Joe. You've got 6 6-volt batteries, all right? If you added 2, negative, positive, then you would have a 48-volt battery pack, all right? 48-volt battery pack didn't do anything about your amp hours. It only increased your voltage, all right? And it's not going to work. It's going to blow your controller up. Your controller is voltage sensitive unless you have a aftermarket controller that could handle 36 or 48. If it's a stock TXT, then that controller cannot handle 48 volts. All right, now, if you wanted to put 6 more batteries in there and hook them in parallel with that battery pack, then yes, you could. The answer would be yes. But you can't just add 2 because that's going to screw up your charging and mess everything, because it's going to, if you want to add 6, the answer is yes. But adding 2, it's going to get complicated. Greg says, epoxy floor is slippery when wet. Yeah, I've had epoxy before, but I don't think that they used enough grit in it, and it was slippery when wet too. I would worry about my wife slipping every time that she would come home and get out of her car because it was on epoxy floor and it was slippery. But I don't think they used enough grit. But I tell you what, it was a tough floor though. Just wondering what you think about the new Red Hawk RTS M-Core compared to OEM. It's adjustable. I haven't heard any feedback on that yet, Travis, but I'm looking forward to it. I haven't heard any feedback from customers on that. And we sell Red Hawk too. I mean, Golf Cart Garage is a supplier. Red Hawk's one of our suppliers, so I'm sure that I will hear some feedback on it. Put white sand in my epoxy floor, not slippery at all. Okay, yeah. See, I'm not sure that they used enough in the epoxy floor that I had because it was slippery too. Yeah, I don't think you can put enough grit in a floor. I don't think you can. I mean, I've told them I wanted extra grit, you know, and they always seem to go light on it, like what the people that did this floor. I mean, there is some grit in it. It's not that bad, but it's not as slippery as that epoxy that I had, but just not scratch resistant either. Frankie Diamonds. That's a cool name, Frankie Diamonds. It's like a movie star name. 2010 TXT PDS 36 bone stock. Can I use a lithium battery with 36 volts, 60 amp hour, 100 peak amps, 60 running amps, or will I need two batteries? No, you can bone stock, 60 amp hour. See, the reason that they make those 60 amp hour batteries is for people that have bone stock cars, because that's supposed to end up being almost the equivalent of your lead acid pack. That's just a single 60 amp hour, but that's only going to equate if your car is bone stock. If your car is completely lifted and has taller tires, you're not going to be able to run just one. You're going to have to run two in parallel because you're going to need more powerful battery. That's what the deal is there. You may be able to get rid of, may be able to get away with just using one 60 amp hour. Now, if you get two, that's going to make it 120 amp hour. That might be better for you. But in a bone stock car, the reason they have those 60 amp hours, they're supposed to be able to run off of that without putting too much strain on the BMS. You know, these batteries have a battery manager inside them, battery management system, BMS. You don't want to put too much strain on that BMS when you get on the gas, because if you do, he's going to shut you down. The manager is going to shut you down, the BMS is. So that's where you put two together in parallel, and you'll be less of a strain on the BMS because you're not going to be able to drop that voltage as hard. And you might, you know, so try one. Most lithium companies that we deal with will allow you a certain amount of time to make a decision on whether you want to add one also. So try one at first in your situation, see if it works, and you better run it too. You're going to have to put a good strain on the BMS and make sure it doesn't shut you down. Because if it does, putting two together may be your answer. Kevin Sawyer, what's up? Hey, Tim from Northwest Indiana. What's up, Kevin? Thank you for stopping by, man. No, there's not a minimum amp, Frankie, for the controller. The controller, the only thing that's going to mess that controller up is if you put too much volts to it. The controller is voltage sensitive. It's the thing that produces the amps. So no, don't worry about that. It'll be fine with your controller. If anybody would like to purchase a Golf Cart Garage hat, then you can by going to Golf Cart Garage and clicking one of these links in the description. It'll take you right to whichever one you want. You can buy a hat from Golf Cart Garage by the hot links that are in the description. It'll take you right to it, pick up which color you want. We do give away a hat and a bag of swag on this episodes occasionally. We'll probably give one away in December, and which is going to be December before we know it, like tomorrow or the next day. So yeah, we'll have another hat giveaway coming up in December. Somebody may be getting a Christmas present. So I'll let you know right before we do that. I don't know if we're going to do it next time or not, but I will let you know an episode before we give a bag of swag away, so everybody be sure and come here. and where you get a chance to win. Frankie Diamonds, thanks, Tim, you rock. Thank you, Frankie Diamonds. Is that your real name, Frankie, by the way? All right. If you would like to give us any suggestions here at Golf Cart Garage on anything that we could do better or that we're not doing, here's the email, support@golfcartgarage.com. And there's the phone number, 1-800-401-2934. Give us a comment, give us an email, comment in the description here, comment in the comment section here, and if you have any ideas that we're not doing, or there's something that we could do better. We do our best, and you may change the way we do business. All right, it is time for, guess what? Let's see some cards. Well, this episode, William Rizzo sent me a picture. We featured his cart on here before, but this is not his cart. I believe this is just a cart that he saw in a parking lot somewhere. So I thought it was interesting, so we're going to check it out. Frankie says, it is today. That's your real name today. All right, I got you. Gene says the hats are nice. Thank you, Gene. Bam. Check that out. Just a random cart in the parking lot. So it says it's got a sign on it right here. It says towing and salvage. So it must be a company cart. But I thought that was cool. Looks like a cartoon cart, like off of Bugs Bunny or Jessica Rabbit. You know, it's got the teeth and the eyes and everything. It looks like a cartoon cart. And according to that plug, that's possibly an RX-V. Now, I guess it could be a TXT48. It's a triangle plug. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. So anybody have any, if you want me to feature your cart, oh, okay, Matter, that's it. Because that's what the sign says. It says Matter, Little Matter, salvage, towing and salvage. Oh, okay. I got you. I thought it looked familiar. I couldn't place it. Yeah, when I saw it, I said, I bet that's, when I was thinking that. Omer Nadler says, if my E-Z-GO cart won't drive forward, what is the reason reverse works but not forward? Well, tell me what year cart we're talking about and if it has a run tow switch. Oh, it's a gas cart and the engine won't crank. Well, you need to check back on the transaxle where the cable is, and see if it's actually, when you put it in forward, see if it's actually going into forward. Because there's the deal is, you know, you're activating a cable when you push that lever into forward or reverse, and that cable goes all the way back to the transaxle, all the way back to your rear axle on top of it, where you have a gear shift. You know, it's a lever that puts it in forward and puts it in reverse. Well, if that is out of adjustment, it may be going further in one direction than it is the other. So I would always try to And if you got to, you can disconnect it right there and turn that lever with your hand and see if you can get it to go into forward. And if you can, then you know it's a cable issue. You know, if you can make it going forward with your hand. Excuse me. Okay. It's Tow Matter from the Cars movie. Okay, yeah. That's Tow Matter from Cars movie. Or it's pronounced Mater. Okay. While you were at Golf Cart Garage, while you were there looking around and you want to purchase something, you can use this coupon. I have a coupon named after me. You get 5% off any parts you order at golfcartgarage.com if you use the coupon code TIM16. TIM16. This code expires on December 16th, 2023. Get 5% off any parts you order. Use coupon code TIM16 at golfcartgarage.com. Use that at checkout. All right. That looks like that's going to be it. We got the social media done. We did the hats. We got the coupon. We did the contact info. Send me some pictures. By the way, if you got a cart that you want me to feature and talk about, send me some pictures and a small description of what the deal is with it, and I'll see about getting it up there. You can send them to either this contact info that I put up earlier. That's support@golfcartgarage.com. Put attention Tim, and I'll be sure and get them that way. You can also send them directly to me if you would like. I've posted my email address many times here on the internet. My email address is 00timfreeman@gmail.com. So you can send them to me directly to me there if you would like. Either way, I'll get them. And that's going to be it. Today was Thursday, the 30th. Can you believe that? It is already, we're December basically. December. I cannot believe how fast this year has gone by. It is just, I mean, it was, we were eating food on the beach in hot weather not too long ago, it seemed like yesterday. And now it's about to get cold. That is amazing. Time flies by when you're having fun. All right, guys, I will see y'all on, let's see, any holidays next week? Nope. So we'll be here Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So I will see everybody on Tuesday. Thank you for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Thank for all the new people that decided to join us today. Kirk says they go faster the older you get. Yes, I am finding that true. I am finding that true, Kirk, for sure. The more and more, I mean, golly, this year has just flew by. Let me check Facebook, make sure you got it. You got it, Tim. Okay, I must have pronounced it right, Mater. All right, guys, I will see everybody on Tuesday. Garage is now closed.